This content is brought to you in association with my buddies over at Jam Jam Cards UK. You can find the links to the eBay store and the Facebook page in the description. Hi guys, it's Joe here from Rufioh. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard. You should definitely hit subscribe and the notification bell before we go any further. But if this is not your first time on the channel, welcome back. Now for today's video, we are just doing a nice and short one. We're just going to be talking about the Brave engine, or the Adventurer engine, I guess as we'll probably be calling it now. Now for those of you who aren't following, the Brave engine is one that was out in the OCG for a little while, and now we've got it in the Grand Creators. Which, by the way, if you didn't know already, I opened some of those boxes, pulled some of the engine here, and even pulled a nice collector's rare version here. Ooh-wee. It's beautiful. Doesn't show up very well on the camera though, but you get the point. But I digress. The whole point is that we're going to do a quick rundown of what it is that this engine actually does. What that very basic line of play is that makes this engine so powerful. So again, it's going to be a nice and short video just to show you exactly what you need to know, and you can go on your merry way and act as if you knew all along. But before we do get stuck into the video, if you are looking to pick up some Yu-Gi-Oh singles, potentially ahead of the new list whenever that drops, which could be any minute now, then check out the channel sponsors Jam Jam Cards UK. Link in the description. If you use that with the code Rufioh15, you will get a 15% discount. But anyway, enough waffling on from me. Let's get stuck into the video. Okay, so here we have it, guys. This is all the engine actually requires. So we've got here the actual name for this card is Water Enchantress of the Temple. We now have that confirmed. We've got Garnet in here. This is actually just for the purposes of the combo, which I'll show you in a minute. It's just to show you that you need any card for discard. So you don't actually need this as part of your engine. But essentially you need 3 copies of the Water Enchantress. You can have 1 copy of the Big Chicken. I'm pretty sure the name is the same, if I remember rightly. We have Journey of Destiny, which I think it's pretty similarly named again. We've got Dracoback, which is still called Dracoback in the TCG. And then we have Rite of Aramesir, which is spelled differently, but it's basically the same thing. And these are all going to summon an Adventurer token. That's the whole point of this combo. And basically what it does is it means that you can essentially go 1 card plus discard in 2 summons will get you to an Omni Negate, and if you go in second, you've also got a bounce as well, but we'll get to that when we get into the combo. So you can already tell exactly why this is potent. Now, obviously, the big issue here is that you can't normal summon, but really, it doesn't matter. You play this in decks where you don't care. For example, Phantom Knights, which have been particularly potent. We've seen it getting paired with the likes of 10 years. We've seen it getting paired with pretty much anything you can imagine. Prank Kids, all of them. Now, we could go into a super ton of detail here about all these combos, about what decks you can use it with and how they'll work. I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this video. I'm going to keep it nice and short and sweet and just get into exactly what that main basic combo is that you need to know for this deck so that you can start experimenting with it and sticking it into decks so that you're ready in a couple of weeks' time when this set drops. Okay, so this is our example hand. This is what you ideally want to open, but you can do it in other ways as well. But primarily, we want to get to that spell card, which is Rite of Aramesir, and that will then get us to the rest of our combo. So, of course, the Garnet here, just to show you, we don't actually need a card here. Well, we need a card. It doesn't matter what that is. Of course, there are decks where it's insane. For example, your discard might be a Phantom Knight or something like that that you can use from grave, and it just gets absolutely bananas. But the whole point here is that we're going to take our Water Enchantress and we're going to activate our effect, banishing her to search. And that is going to get us our Rite of Aramesir. Now, if you control no Brave token, or as it is now the Adventurer token, you can special summon an Adventurer token. Then if you do not, you can if you do not control a Journey of Destiny, you can place Journey of Destiny from the deck face up into the spell and trap zone. You can only activate 1 copy of this card per turn. You cannot activate the effects of monsters on the field the turn you activate this card, except for special summon monsters, which again, it does not matter. That does, however, mean though, before and after. So you can't normal summon, use the effect, and then activate this card. You will be locked from being able to use it. So we're going to go ahead and add that, and then we're going to activate it. So the discard comes up in a moment, which we'll explain. So, of course, if you open this already, you don't actually need the Enchantress. It just becomes effectively extra copies of the card. So we're going to go ahead and activate this, and we're going to use the effect to play the Brave token. which is absolutely fine. We then get the option to, of course, search our Journey of Destiny, which we want to go ahead and do. We're going to add that to our hand. Well, sorry, activate it straight from the deck. It's the equip spell we can add to hand, which is where this comes in. So Journey of Destiny, the first time your monster equipped with an equip card would be destroyed by battle each turn. It is not destroyed. That can kind of come up. Not super relevant. You can only use each of the following effects of Journey of Destiny once per turn. During your main phase, you can add a monster that specifically lists a Brave token, in our case the chicken, in its text from the deck to your hand, and then send one card from your hand to the grave. Send, not discard. Important to note. If a monster is normal or special summoned, you can take one equip spell that specifically lists Brave token in its text from your deck and either add it to your hand or equip it to one Brave token you control. Now, what this does mean is that you can add that equip card, which we'll get to in a moment, and either equip it to the Brave token or equip it to the chicken if you want to do that. If you go in second, that might be a good option because it actually can re-equip itself to the token, but we'll get to that in a moment. So we're going to go ahead and activate the effect, of course, to add the chicken. There we go, add our chicken. And then we can then send the garnet to the graveyard. Now the chicken says during the main phase, if you control no monsters or you control an adventurer token, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, which also means you can summon it during your opponent's turn, which is kind of a neat little trick if that ever comes up. And when a card or effect is activated while you control a Brave token, quick effect, you can shuffle this card into the deck, and if you do, negate the activation and destroy that card. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, of course, we're going to go ahead and special summon our free little chicken here. We now have an Omni Negate off our second summon. We don't care about Nibiru. And then the effect, of course, of our Continuous is now going to give us the option to either add or activate the equip spell. Obviously, we're not going to chain this because we don't want to negate it ourselves. So, we then got our equip spell, which is Dracoback. So this equips only to a monster you control. You can only control one Dracoback, blah, 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 blah. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. While it's equipped to a non-effect monster, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Brave token you control, equip this card to that target. So there can be niche scenarios where it comes up that you can then re-equip it on the field. Not going to come up too often. You probably don't want to do it on the chicken, like I mentioned earlier. Misexplained that a little bit, but you get the whole point. The point here is that you can either add it to your hand and then equip it to whatever you want if you've got more than one target, or of course you can equip it straight to the Brave token. So again, if you're going second, this can be a really good option. Just a really cool option to have. Of course, it's going to help you break through those boards and things like that. And you've also got an Omni Negate to back that up. So your turn one play is likely going to end probably with this in hand, I imagine. You're not likely to activate it straight away. Maybe you do, I don't know. But the whole point here is that you get an Omni Negate off this one card plus a discard, which is kind of cute. And again, you're doing this in 2 summons. Now, it is worth noting that, again, the whole point of this is that this engine is absolutely bonkers. It is so easy. Just off that one there, again, and I'll go through it again for you because I managed to set this so it always opens this. It is literally activate this, add your spell, activate the spell, get your token. Yes, we'd like to have a free card. And this is like pluses, really. It's pretty good. We're going to activate this, of course. Get the chicken. You could add another one of these if you want like a follow-up, but I don't know. An Omni Negate's, well, quite a bit better, let's be honest. Discard the garnet, unless you're an idiot. We can summon our chicken. I mean, you don't have to activate... The other good thing here is that you don't actually have to activate the equip spell. So if you already open it, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not going to end your combo or whatever. Not like, you know, a traditional garnet would. So, yeah, I mean, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Like, if you don't have a valid target, you don't care. And then, of course, you just add the equip spell if you want it, which I would recommend you do. Because at the very least, if nothing else, it's just a free discard fodder. Or it's, you know, extra resources, which can always come up. And again, if you're playing Go Second, you can use this to just bounce an additional card on top of the fact that you've created an Omni Negate. And again, this is within 2 summons. So hopefully you guys have found this video helpful. Again, it's nothing too insane. I just wanted to get into the sort of very bones of what this is. There's an awful lot you can flesh this out with, and you can start go ahead and experimenting with this yourselves. Again, it's very easy and straightforward to use, but I haven't seen too many people with the actual, just the flat combo in there. So I thought it'd be helpful to make this video for you so you guys can see it for yourselves and take it and do whatever you will with it. But again, that is all for today's video. Thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully, by virtue of the fact that you made it this far into the video, you've enjoyed it enough to subscribe, or at least hated it enough that you couldn't possibly look away. In either case, thank you very much for making it this far. Once again, thank you very much for coming along. I do really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.